Hi, my name is Cold Beer, and let's start with Palworld. 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 I'm very sorry. The game has hundreds of thousands of reviews on Steam and the score is above 90%, which makes this game a true masterpiece. Yeah, we all know that this is a Pokemon game without Pokemons, but that changes nothing. Palworld will enchant you with a massive open world where you can peacefully live alongside mysterious creatures known as pals, or risk your life to drive off a ruthless poaching syndicate. Pals can be used to fight, or they can be made to work on farms or factories. So you're tiny slaves. What a nice concept, but wait. It gets worse. You can obviously sell them or even eat them, and the game calls this peaceful co-living. Well, who am I to judge? Anyway, Palworld is not just an easy walk in the park, it's a survival game as well. So in a harsh environment where food is scarce and vicious poachers roam, danger awaits you around every corner. To survive you have to be careful and make difficult choices. You know, you have to eat your pals if things go south a bit too far. So use your pals as you want. Farm, build factories, or commit crimes and become a mighty slaver. In online co-op mode, up to 4 players can play together. And additionally, a dedicated server can allow up to 32 players in one game. That's how you make friends, if you don't have any. Void Crew. Here you will pilot the ship, man the turrets, perform emergency repairs, recharge the power cells, utilize space station weaponry, fabricate munitions and exit the ship on extravehicular missions, be it patching the ship's hull or scavenging derelict wrecks. The game has a very positive review score on Steam and lets you explore the universe along with your buddies, or, you know, with your mother-in-law. Nobody loves you more, and you know it. People on Steam are saying that everyone has a job to do on the ship, and with every update, the game seems to be getting better and better. Also, Void Crew will break your friendships, but you know, it's worth it. You will find new friends. World is full of friends. Not yours though. Remnant Records. Do you like demons and other supernatural things lurking in your room at night? Don't look behind you now. I double dare you to not look behind you. Ah, you missed it. It's already under your bed, waiting for you. So, if you like a vibe like this, you may like this game as well. This is a horror investigation game for 1 to 4 players. Here you will explore places haunted by the dead, survive scary and unique ghosts and find out what happened to them during thousands of generated stories. You know, even when I wrote this text, I had some chills running down my spine. Anyway, the game has very positive reviews, and the only question that is left unanswered here is how strong and hairy are your mental balls. Lego City Undercover. Here you'll play as a police officer who's been tasked with going undercover to hunt down the notorious escaped criminal and putting an end to this citywide crime wave. Here you'll find more than 20 unique districts to investigate and catch car thieves. Also, you will discover hilarious movie references, tons of vehicles to drive and hundreds of collectibles. You can play it alone or with your friend in co-op mode, and along you can try to break the game and do stuff you're not intended to do. You know, it's a game suitable for a younger audience as well, but you can kidnap people in taxis and drive into the ocean. Just saying, it's a bad thing to do. You know, you are a police officer after all, and you can beat civilians, although you can't murder them. Boo! It's a Lego game, come on. Anyway, as far as Lego games go, this is an actual Lego GTA 5. Tons of fun, guaranteed. We need to go deeper. This is a wonderful co-op game. Here you'll control a submarine with friends in a 2 to 4 player roguelike, set in a Jules Verne-inspired undersea adventure. The game is designed with human interaction in mind, so you will have to communicate or perish terribly. You can play the game with friends, strangers, or bots, although I recommend you to have friends or at least some strangers from Discord, because the game is not very popular right now. You know, it was released in 2019, so the fame faded away already. When I wrote this review, there were 12 players online. That is not much. Despite that, this is a great game with fun mechanics and really cool visuals. Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2 Deluxe Edition. This is a third-person shooter where you will be able to play not only as a plant, as usual, but as a zombie as well. Here you'll find around 100 different playable character variants. You will engage in up to 24-player online battles in different modes, and when I say that, I mean it. The game was released a few years ago, but there are around 1,000 players online, on a good day, so the game is alive and kicking. Not like zombies in this game, they are for sure long dead, although they can kick, probably. Maybe. Anyway, there are also 4-player co-op and even solo options available. You won't find any campaign here, however you can play solo against AI in any game mode if you want. Game has 12 maps and around 90% positive reviews. What's not to like? Dinkum. You'll start a new life and build a home on an island inspired by the wild Australian lands. Explore tropical eucalyptus forests, survive scorching deserts, relax and discover a land filled with adorable creatures like koalas or crocodiles or spiders if you are into spiders. I'm certainly not. Collect valuable resources by hunting, mining, fishing and foraging to expand and customize your town and attract new townsfolk and businesses. Share your new home with friends and protect each other as you explore beautiful landscapes filled with dangerous predators. Yeah, that doesn't sound very safe or romantic, but the game truly delivers the feeling of coziness in a special way. Dead by Daylight. This is a multiplayer 4 vs 1 horror game where one player takes the role of the savage killer and the other 4 players play as survivors, trying to escape the killer and avoid being caught, tortured and killed. Survivors playing third person have the advantage of better situational awareness. You know, when you go near the corner of the house you can see what is happening without exposing your silly face, and the killer plays in first person. I personally think that this concept came from studying nature. Various herbivores have peripheral vision and the predators are best at seeing what's in front of them, so they took this concept and implemented it here. Anyway, the survivor's goal in each encounter is to escape the killing ground without getting caught by the killer, something that sounds easier than it is, especially when the environment changes every time you play. And if you play as a killer, you must help survivors to escape safely, except not. Lightyear Frontier. Here you land on a beautiful, vibrant planet and have to find your mech. Yeah, here you and your machine are almost inseparable. All the building, walking around and exploring is being done by you controlling this huge, a bit sentient mech, who sometimes makes a funny comment or two. Reminds me of Riftbreaker. One of the coolest things here, I think, is visuals. I rarely see this kind of polish in these kinds of games, and this beauty can be immortalized by the game's photo mode. Yeah, some serious AAA games quite often get a full release version without photo mode available, and here you can take wonderful pictures of yourself whenever you want. So basically this is a crafting and building game, so you have to roam around with your mech and collect various resources, then convert those resources into some machines, buildings or anything you like. Although this game is not only about mech upgrading, crafting and building, the exploration part is here as well. Not as big as I would want it to be, but when I played it, I found some dungeons where I couldn't go with my mech, so I had to leave my machine in order to squeeze myself into tight places. That is a nice touch. If you like these crafting games, there is a huge chance that you will like this one as well. Monster Hunter World. You'll take on the role of a hunter and slay ferocious monsters in a living ecosystem, where you can use the landscape and its diverse inhabitants to get the upper hand. You can hunt alone or in co-op with up to 3 other players, and use materials collected from fallen foes to craft new gear. There are 14 different weapons at your disposal, each with its own unique characteristics and styles of attack. Many hunters acquire proficiency in multiple types, while others prefer to attain mastery of one. Monster Hunter World has 87% of positive reviews on Steam, left by more than 200,000 players. Incredible achievement. Saints Row the Third. This game is crazy, and trying to make sense explaining the plot would be crazy as well. So, let me try. You belong to a small, powerful gang of dudes. Long story short, you lose control of the city to a dangerous criminal organization and have to fight back to reclaim it. Yeah, kinda like that. Overall, the game is about rising to power amidst chaos and ridiculousness. Yeah, that word you will use a lot, because I doubt there are more ridiculous games than this one. Okay, maybe there are, but Saints Row the Third is definitely in the top 10 of any ridiculous list. So anyway, enjoy the mayhem you cause here and have fun. Minecraft Dungeons Ultimate Edition. So, this is a very nice isometric hack-and-slash game, a spin-off of a very well-known game, Terraria. Well, Maybe not, I'm kidding. The plot here revolves around a villain known as Illager, the leader of monster armies. Here you can brave the dungeons alone or team up with friends. Up to 4 players can battle together, all that in an epic quest to save the villagers and take down the evil Illager. You'll explore dungeons, swarms and canyons full of dangers. One thing that distinguishes Minecraft dungeons from other hack-and-slash games is that your character's power is solely determined by finding better and better equipment, mainly weapons. Also here you can unlock over 250 unique artifacts and other stuff to perform and survive devastating special attacks. And when your wife or husband finds you playing this, say that you are doing research or something, you know, for science. Let's be fair, it's a game for kids, but it has over 90% of positive reviews on Steam, so how can you resist? Sker Ritual. So if you know the first part, it's nothing like that. Made of Sker was a stealth horror game, and Sker Ritual is actually quite the opposite. Here you will dive into the first-person shooting action like never before. Well, honestly, like many times before, but you know, it's nice. To shoot massive hordes of creepy stuff is always nice. So this is obviously an intense, round-based zombie shooter. You can play it alone or up to 4 players online, and face relentless waves of enemies while at the same time solving mysterious missions, uncovering Easter eggs, upgrading steampunk weapons, and obtaining a vast network of Celtic gods' powers. Game has a very positive review score on Steam, and people who play the game in the comments are often saying that Sker Ritual was above the expectations. It is a very solid game to just have tons of fun. Core Keeper. Drawn to a mysterious relic, you are an explorer who awakens in an ancient cavern of creatures, resources and trinkets. Here you'll mine relics and resources to build your base, craft new equipment, survive and power up the core. Of course, you will need to defeat giant monsters, discover hidden secrets, farm crops, cook new recipes and explore a procedurally generated underground world in a mining sandbox adventure for 1 to 8 players. And I can for sure say that this is a good game. On Steam you will find above 90% positive reviews left by tens of thousands of players who bought the game. Also, I must mention that Core Keeper is way more fun in multiplayer mode, so grab your imaginary friend and dive into adventures together. Apocalypse Party. I was playing it for a few days and I can honestly admit that I had tons of fun. Basically, here you take control of the hero and start slashing, dicing, burning, freezing and shooting hordes of zombies and other undead. The more you slay, the more powerful you get, and you can slay even more.
Yes, Queen, slay!
Also, controls are very responsive and the skills are fun to use. You can also get various gadgets and devices to help you, like the toilet that splashes and kills your adversaries for you. After several playthroughs, I decided that I like the melee approach the most, because this playstyle reminded me of cow level of Diablo 2. Honestly, this is exactly how it felt, and come on, that is never a bad thing. You gather zounds of zombies and slice through the ball of the undead like a boss. Murky Divers. This is basically a Lethal Company clone with a Subnautica setting. You'll dive with a team of up to 4 friends or strangers to the bottom of the ocean. Your mission is to remove all dead bodies from abandoned labs and erase any evidence on their failed experiments. And those experiments are what left all these lab rats dead. So prepare to meet some nightmares of the deep. They are really creepy. All in all, this is a horror game to play with friends, to scream together and generate nervous laughter afterwards. Also, your oxygen will run out way quicker than you expect, so there are a lot of ways to die, but you should avoid that. Dying is not what you want. And another fun part is your submarine. You'll have to navigate blindly only with the help of sonar to avoid dangers. Great game to finally acquire the fear of the ocean. Although be sure you are okay with motion sickness. This game is known to generate one. 9 Parchments. This is a cooperative action RPG game of magical mayhem from the creators of the Trine series. Here, runaway apprentice wizards seize the opportunity to complete their spellbooks by going after the lost 9 parchments. Super powerful spells meant to be wielded by the most powerful mages. So as these newbies rapidly acquire powerful new spells without learning proper safety measures, it's natural that their hasty progress results in plenty of deadly accidents. 9 Parchments combines real-time spell shooting action with usual RPG elements. Here you level up your character and collect magical loot, filling your wardrobe with zillions of wizard hats and powerful staves. People on Steam are saying that this is a super entertaining game to play with your friends. Doesn't matter imaginary or real ones. Although keep in mind that if you play with imaginary friends, you will need another pair of non-imaginary hands. Why must everything be so complicated? I don't get it. Serious Sam 4. What if we make a shooter game but completely overpopulate it with enemies? Then we get serious Sam games with never-ending action and unstoppable carnage everywhere you go. So in Serious Sam 4, the iconic cast of alien invaders returns with new reinforcements, and you will have to slay them all, and you will. The game also supports co-op mode, so you can play with 3 friends and enjoy the action together. Although that number of friends nowadays is a bit unrealistic. Most of us don't even have 3 imaginary friends, so this number is a bit fictional. Anyway, single player is awesome as well. The game has a very positive review score on Steam. Also, you can try all the Serious Sam games. Most of them have even better review scores and are loved more by players, but they are a bit outdated and someone else's nostalgia isn't making them better if you never play them. It Takes Two. As you can probably imagine, this is a co-op game for 2 people. Here you can invite a friend to join for free with Friends Pass, and together master unique and connected character abilities, help each other with the obstacles, and have a great time in general. For example, my friend who's 40 plus years old and usually plays games like Detroit Become Human, Observer, The Last of Us and similar gloomy stuff, played this with his wife, and he said that this was the best game he tried in half a year. So it's obvious that the game has no age or genre restrictions, it's just pure fun. So grab your mother-in-law and have fun together. It Takes Two has overwhelmingly positive reviews, but that's probably obvious as well. Dead Island 2. I played the game when it came out, and I can honestly say that it was an awesome experience. One of the common misconceptions was that Dead Island 2 is an open-world game, but in reality it is quite linear, and I love that, especially after Dying Light 2 with boring copy-paste assets all around the map. When I played Dead Island 2, I could honestly tell that they did their best in making the environment engaging and original. Well, a few copy-pasted paintings can ruin the immersion sometimes, but the whole picture, pun intended, was great. And I can say for sure that this is not a full-fledged horror game. It is more like arcade hack and slasher with a few horror elements. Alright, and a few creepy jump scares as well. The gameplay is fast-paced and fun. The feeling of the recently started apocalypse is there as well. In short, this game feels just right, and it is nicely polished. By the way, after my playtime I have made an in-depth and really funny review and uploaded it to my channel. And after it got 1000 views, YouTube's algorithm just killed it and never ever recommended it for anyone ever again. That's why I hate doing reviews. But you can click on the card above and watch it. I promise you will have a great time and may even buy the game after it. Cat Quest 2. This is a 2D open-world action RPG set in a fantasy realm of cats and dogs. Here the war continues. The mighty cats of Felingard are in eternal conflict with the dogs of the Lupus Empire. So Cat Quest 2 tells the story of 2 kings brought together against their will on a journey of discovery to reclaim their thrones. Well, a king without a throne is like a biker without a bike, potato salad without potatoes, or you without virginity. I'm kidding, don't be angry with me. Instead, subscribe and I promise to never insult you ever again. Yeah, that is a lie. Anyway, in-game you will find a bunch of explosive spells, expanded weapon options, exciting new character switch mechanic, and local co-op. The best thing about this co-op is that you can actually play the game on a shared screen. So if you have a friend, you know what to do. I mean that you have a lot of knowledge about your friend, so blackmail him into playing this game with you. I tried to find some bad comments about the game, but after a minute of scrolling I found one negative comment comparing Cat Quest 2 to Subnautica 2.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know. Cat Quest 2 is great. Try it, have fun. Baldur's Gate 3. The discount is not very entertaining, but the game is. Baldur's Gate 3 is for sure the best game I have played since the third Witcher, and overall in my mind it takes 6th place among all the games I have ever played in my entire life. That is a sacred spot, knowing that I've been playing video games for the last 35 years. The game has an amazing branching story where your decisions hugely impact the world and your surroundings. Who you are, where you go, who you decide to befriend, kill or bang, everything has a meaning. Dialogues are great, voice actors are the best in the business, freedom of choice is overwhelming, you never know what you will find. You know, once I tried to speak to a frog. I said something probably not very nice and frog tried to kill me, wiped out half of my party. But I befriended a witch who likes to kidnap and imprison simple folk from the village in her dungeon. She sells me nice stuff now. I killed all the druids and made friends with goblins. Then I didn't, and everything was different. I played the game 3 times and I will do that again and again. Baldur's Gate 3 is beyond amazing, 11 cold beers out of 10. Stranded deep. In the aftermath of a mysterious plane crash, you are stranded in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Alone, without any means to call for help, you must do what you can to survive. Explore underwater and on land as you hunt for supplies to craft the tools, weapons and shelter you'll need to stay alive. You will have to stay sharp. Hunger, thirst and exposure conspire against you as you brave treacherous elements and the dangerous creatures of the Pacific. And whenever I play survival games, I really wish that I was thirsty and hungry along with my character, because I always forget to eat or drink or, to get warm and then I die. And most of these games have no happy ending for me. Anyway, let's hope that you will live long and stay alive. I'm kidding, you will not. Orcs Must Die 3. This is probably the most entertaining tower defense game I have ever played, and that is because here you are involved in the action as a third-person character. You actually run and shoot, hack and slash, and also you place various traps and turrets, so it feels very personal, and because of that you are not just a passive observer, you are actually the scariest turret for your enemies. And your enemies here are obviously orcs. Wave after wave, they will swarm your castle, and after the end of every wave you will realize that you were holding your breath all the time. Relax, it's just a game. You can play solo or two-player co-op, arm yourself with a massive arsenal of weapons and slice, burn and zap hordes of repugnant orcs. The game is incredibly fun and at first seems easy.
Like your sister.
Oh come on, how dare you! Oh, but all this easiness is just a deception. Later games will turn into incredibly hard try again and again battles. One misplaced trap, one missed shot and you're dead. Anyway, as I've said, this is an extremely entertaining game and I can recommend it without any doubts. Kill orcs and relax. DayZ. As developers say, this is a hardcore open-world multiplayer survival game with only one rule: stay alive no matter what. I don't know, usually I don't need a game to follow this rule. I'm staying alive no matter what in real life as well. Anyway, in DayZ this task is a bit more difficult, with a myriad of threats lurking around every corner that may be easier said than done. You will not find any checkpoints or saves. When you die, you lose everything and have to start over. But you will find this dying and starting over thingy quite entertaining because of complex survival mechanics, including hunting, building, crafting, health preservation and resource management. Also unpredictable and often emotional interactions with other players. And did I mention zombies? That Z in DayZ is absolutely legit. The game has zombies. It's not some Jay-Z.
Imposter?
So you may encounter some undead, but you will probably die from a zillion other reasons, so don't worry about them so much. The bad thing is that the game is multiplayer only, and as it happens with multiplayer games, you can run into a cheater or two, or three. That sucks. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. In the near future, Bolivia has fallen into the hands of Santa Blanca, a merciless drug cartel who spreads injustice and violence, kidnaps people and kills those who stand in their way. Well, that is kinda obvious if you ask me. Imagine a drug cartel who spreads joy and freedom, enforces the superiority of the law and pays taxes. I really doubt that this is how drug cartels work, although I think so. I have never created one, yet. So here you will discover the diverse landscapes, both on and off-road, in the air, on land and at sea, with over 60 different vehicles. And your goal is kinda obvious: you have to dismantle the Santa Blanca cartel. You must do that by fighting fire with fire. They kill people and you kill their people. They spread violence, you spread even more violence among them. They sell drugs, you sell even more drugs. Oh wait, maybe not the latter. Anyway, show them who's the real boss in Bolivia is. Probably not you though. A Way Out. This is an exclusively co-op adventure where you play the role of one of two prisoners, making their daring escape from prison. You can do that by online co-op or by sitting near to your friend in split-screen mode, which is obviously the best choice. Each player controls one of the main characters to break out of prison and gain their freedom. The catch here is that the characters are not friends. They just happen to be in a bad place at the same time. There is no trust between them. Like there's no trust between you and your friend when you eat potato chips from a shared package, so escaping prison with a complete stranger isn't ideal circumstances, but as freedom gets closer and closer, you will have to learn to trust each other if you want to make it to the other side. You will sneak, fight, run, drive, and even go for a little fishing along the way. Also use teamwork to solve puzzles and overcome obstacles. And I should mention again that it is impossible to play it alone. There's no AI who can control the other character, so speak with your friend in advance before buying. Or, you know, use threats, lies and deceit to trick them, so your friends would have no way out, only to play the game with you. Good news is, you don't have to buy 2 copies, one is enough. Ship of Fools. This is a seafaring roguelite co-op game where you play the fools, the only creatures fool enough to brave the sea. The great lighthouse that once protected the archipelago is broken, and a storm of malice and corruption is coming. So you, together with your shipmate, will jump aboard and make your voyage across the sea. Man the cannons, ready your sails, and protect your ship from sea monsters over multiple runs. It's up to you to defend your home from the almighty aquapocalypse. People are saying that the game is hard, but not too hard, so it doesn't ruin your mood. Livelock. This is a top-down shooter where you can play alone or with up to 2 allies to break the cycle of infinite war between machines. Your role here is to unlock Eden and revive humanity, which, in my opinion, is a very questionable goal. Why do these intelligent robots need humans? Makes no sense. If I was one, I would never do that. Well, except I may turn you all into batteries. Anyway, 3 different classes provide different gameplay, so despite the fact that the game is really short, you will finish it in about 5 hours. Replayability here is quite high. Remnant 2. This is the sequel to Remnant from the Ashes, best known as Dark Souls with guns. The game pits survivors of humanity against new deadly creatures and godlike bosses across beautiful but menacing worlds. Here you can travel alone or with friends as a team and explore strange new worlds and beyond, overrun by mythical creatures while trying to stay alive. There are multiple worlds to explore with different types of creatures, weapons and items. Game has branching quest lines, augments, crafting and loot rewards that will test the resolve of even the most hardened players in dynamically generated dungeons and areas. Most of the players are saying that the second part is better than the first one, meaning that developers learned from their past mistakes and made an actually awesome game. Voidtrain. People are saying that this surreal survival craft game is kind of similar to the Raft. That is never a bad thing, but keep in mind that you won't get a lot of action. Well, not as many as it may seem from the trailer or even from the screenshots posted on Steam. I watched Markiplier playing the game and it was a nice experience. The whole idea of collecting resources around you while moving on a train is nice, but one thing kinda bothered me. You always feel like you are in the dream. Everything is floating and, you know, anything can happen. And when something extraordinary actually happens, you are like,
Well, okay, I guess that's cool.
but you are never actually amazed. I guess that's the price of making everything so elusive. Although I love the idea of the game, I would love to travel around in some post-apocalyptic landscape instead. I think there is some similar game with zombies somewhere, but it's in 2D and it's not the same for me. Anyway, Voidtrain demo is also here, and it's free for you to try. Trine 4: The Nightmare Prince. I think many of you have heard about the Trine series. It was one of the first hard-worked attempts to make platformer games even more beautiful than they were before. This is a member of 3D platformers with fixed camera, or as developers call it, a 2.5D, which is a bit confusing. So here you'll control 3 heroes sent on a quest to retrieve the troubled young prince. Wizard, knight and thief are joined together once again on a thrilling quest through beautiful fairy tale landscapes teeming with danger. People on Steam are saying that this game is simpler than the previous Trine titles. Puzzles are easier, but when you play in co-op mode with friends, everything is chaos. Also keep in mind that this game will eat your machine's computing power as if you were digging for bitcoins. Volcanoids. If Satisfactory and Riftbreaker had a baby, Volcanoids would be the result of their forbidden love. This is a base-building open-world survival shooter with heavy steampunk elements. Here you can play absolutely alone or with up to 3 friends and explore an ever-changing volcanic island. Upgrade your drill, fight hostile machines and reveal what's been hiding in the depths of the underground. You can also capture resources and technology and use it to destroy the rest of the machines. The game is in early access, since forever, but it has very positive reviews and gamers are saying that this is a real hidden gem, and if you have friends, it's almost a must-play. Ravenswatch. The nightmares here are like your ex, spreading and corrupting everything in their path, so you must hone your skills and find the strength to defeat the creatures of the nightmare, using unique hero abilities inspired by characters from folk tales and legends. Yeah, you can choose one of the well-known heroes, such as the Red Hood, Beowulf, or even Aladdin, and hack and slash your way through hordes of monsters. If you played Curse of the Dead Gods, you will be pleased to know that these are the same developers. If you didn't know the game, check it out. It's one of the best hack and slash roguelites inspired by Hades, and Ravenswatch kinda follows a similar visual style as Curse of the Dead Gods and lets you play alone or in a team of up to 4 players co-op. Raft. Build a raft of your dreams and sail into the ocean. That may look like the whole point and story of this game, but your mission is to survive an ocean adventure across dangerous waters, and that won't be easy. Here, trapped on a small raft with nothing but a hook made of old plastic, you awake on a vast blue ocean, totally alone and with no land in sight. With a dry throat and an empty stomach, you will have to gather debris to survive, expand your raft, and be wary of the dangers of the ocean. You may play the game alone, which is perfectly fine, or with your friends if you have any. Also with creepy strangers as well. That would add to immersion, don't you think? Imagine, you are on the Titanic, it sinks, and you have to share the boat with a dude who obviously thinks of killing and eating you. Immersion over 9,000, right?
So can you cannibalize your friends here?
Well, sadly no. Even if you are very hungry, you will have to eat fish and other stuff you manage to catch. No cannibals here. But with the next patch, who knows? GTFO. This is a 4-player cooperative game. Good news for you, since you are obviously short of friends, the vacuum of your life can be filled with bots here. Playing with them can be irritating at first, but when you learn their mechanics, it's actually quite fun.
Said every lonely person ever.
Oh, shut up. Of course, game developers still recommend playing with real people since the game requires a level of communication and tactical combat, and a good strategy is necessary to win the game. Many of the creatures of GTFO are suspended in state of hibernation, so light, noise and vibrations can easily wake these sleepers up. Better leave your multi-purpose noisy vibrating flashlight at home, so if one of the creatures knows you are there, they all know. Be cautious when deciding on shooting. This game will truly test your patience, since it is a hardcore shooter and it doesn't have a difficulty setting. Although despite the fact that the graphics and atmosphere are amazing, GTFO can become quite repetitive rather quickly. Morkredd. This is an innovative physics puzzle game that may be interesting for fans of darker tropes. The game is best played as a couch co-op experience, so be sure that you have at least one imaginary friend to play this game with. Here you are the Orb's protector, and without it you will descend into a world of death and eternal darkness. You will have to survive and master over 60 puzzles while avoiding the shadows caused by your partner and the environment. Game is without a doubt a work of art. People on Steam are saying that Morkredd is beautiful but very short. You can beat it in a bit more than 2 hours. Divinity Original Sin 2. Here you can become some really interesting custom-made hero, or choose from 6 unique origin characters with their own backgrounds and agendas. For example, you can become a flesh-eating elf. You may think, what, is that the lame feature that regenerates health like ghouls have in every game? No, it's way cooler. Once I found a dead body, and there was an option to, eat its leg. I was like, why not? And I ate it. And suddenly I saw who killed the guy, because this feature of mine worked in this mysterious way, and I completely forgot that I have it. I just ate the leg because I can. So the game gives you freedom that is sometimes a bit absurd. That is awesome. Anyway, here you will explore the vast and layered world alone or in a party of up to 4 friends in a cooperative play. You can even play on split screen with your mother-in-law. Go anywhere, unleash your imagination and explore almost endless ways to interact with the world. There's more to experience in PvP and Game Master modes. In the latter you'll create your own stories or download fan-made campaigns from Steam Workshop. Game has an overwhelmingly positive review score. A must-play, that's a fact. Satisfactory. This game is basically a 3D Factorio, but Factorio is being cocky about it and is never discounted, so let's talk about Satisfactory instead. Here you will defeat nature by building massive factories everywhere, expand wherever and however you want, without any annoying regulations we have here on Earth, because you are not on Earth anymore. All those animals and plants that live here are scientifically unimportant. They live to serve you and your factory. Here you'll find about 30 square kilometers, which is covers about 11 square miles of terrain filled with unique flora and fauna. You can recycle everything and make factories out of them. Build beautiful metal constructions instead of ugly nature. Cover the whole surface of the planet with your elegant conveyor belts and train tracks. Make that pathetic natural habitat disappear and make beauty instead. Be a true hero of the industrial era. Overcooked. This is a game for 2 to 4 people. I have it on my PlayStation and I occasionally play it with my wife. So the main feature of this game is that if you and your significant other have a calm, beautiful life, without any screaming at each other, without yelling profanities and so on, this game may fix it. I can guarantee that no matter how calm you are, you will lose your shit here every time you play. At first you will fail to cook some simple meal, then you will fail even more and will start to wonder what are you doing wrong. The answer is usually everything. So you must take the lead and become a chef. The other one will become your sous chef and will have to do as you say if you want to complete level after level. You may think that you are the head of the family, but turns can table very quickly here when your lead will take you and your SO to failure and doom. Then you will switch and you will do as your SO says. And if you finally complete the level, you will feel confused. You achieved your goal, but only because you did everything you were told and didn't use the tiny organ in between your ears practically at all. This is a great game, really humbling. And now thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.